Hey everyone, welcome back to 22 Panels. This is the podcast that aims to examine, explore, and elevate the medium of comics. I am Tyler, and across the interwebs from me is my good buddy Tad. Hey Tad.
Hey Tyler, how you doing?
I'm actually really good. I couldn't sleep this morning, so I was up at 5. So I've been up
Oh wow.
I've been up for about 2
So this
hours.
is this is like reverse of normal.
I know.
I got up like just in time to make coffee and do last minute show prep.
I got up about 2 hours ago and did the show prep. Like I filled out the notes and everything like that
Right,
for myself
right. Okay. Okay.
because I knew I forgot last night, so
So,
I had to do
so
it this
we're
morning.
we're reversing roles.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that during the during our last Love and Rackets book club,
Yeah.
Maria mentioned that it would be great if we had interaction from listeners, assuming we have any. And it occurred to me that we like never share our email address on the air, so I'm gonna throw that out right now.
Good idea.
You can reach us at 22panelspodcast@gmail.com. Um, and we love talking comics. If you're a creator and for whatever reason we haven't reached out to you, and you're like, why aren't you talking to me? I assure you, it's not because we don't want to, or at least it's probably not because we don't want to. And there's
Probably.
only one way to find out. You can email us, your comic shop, and you're excited about comics. If you're just a person, for that matter, we're nearing the end of our Black Hammer Astro City Odyssey, and uh, 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 I think he's officially correspondent Phil now, but he started out as listener Phil, pitched us, and will be involved in our next 4 week Odyssey. So, again, we like interaction.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you can totally rate, right, like, and review, which is what everybody else says, but I'm not going to say that very often. But I will try to say more often, you like comics, like to talk comics, like what we do.
For sure.
22 Panels podcast on most social medias,
Yep.
at least the ones that I give a damn about, and at gmail.com.
Cool. Well, I found a little bit of comics news this morning.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was up and
These were both on my radar, but I'm still gonna let you run with them.
okay. Well, the first piece of news is DC Pride for 2024.
This has a couple of big stories tied to it. I mean, I love that they continue to do these year in, year out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll let you go.
Okay, so just the thing from the beat, what I'm reading here is over the past few years, DC Comics' annual Pride celebration has become a highlight of the publisher's schedule. Yesterday, DC announced their plans for Pride 2024 and they feature some pleasant surprises, along with the annual anthology one-shot and variant covers spotlighting queer creators and characters. DC will also publish a one-shot tribute to trailblazing creator Rachel Pollack, as well as a collection of the many Pride-themed variant covers from past celebrations. Good Lord. I should have practiced. Anyway.
You weren't expecting me to throw you on the mic so quickly.
No, it's fine. It's funny.
And that gave me time to flip through. I thought this was going to be Al Ewing's first DC appearance too, and maybe he's
I thought I heard that too, but I don't
seeing his name.
I don't see it here.
I know. I saw something that said that he was going to be. No, here we go. This will be superstar writer Al Ewing's first work at DC. So yeah, Al Ewing will also be on the book.
That's awesome.
So
yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. Especially goes along with our your previous episode that we just posted. I guess got it posted yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and I will be plugging that again later, but this is where I will definitely jump in and say anybody who hasn't backed When We Were Young should definitely go look at that because it's a fantastic looking graphic novel. Definitely some friends of the podcast, and it's for a great cause. In the chart, it's over 16,000 now. Fantastic.
Nice.
So it's one of those slowly but surely so far.
Great.
But
I mean,
yeah,
it's great that it's moving forward at least.
right. The one of the reasons I'd like to get it across is like all of the costs other than individual stuff are baked into the 22,000 goal, as is the first $3,000 for the Trevor project. But once it goes across that 22,000 mark, the only money that's not going to the Trevor project is like actual money needed for production. So,
Right.
once it's across that 22,000 mark, if you're buying a digital copy, all of the money is going to the Trevor project. If you're buying a physical copy, all of the money that isn't going to the printer is going to the Trevor project. That sort of thing. So, and for those who don't know, the Trevor project is a um, organization that's dedicated to specifically mental health um, assistance for people in the LGBTQIA plus
I got
community.
some unnecessary um, compliments from Kelly. Your wife had posted this on her Facebook and then tagged me in it, and she wrote, "My husband Tad interviewed this creator," or something like that, and friends of
People
mine
thought it was you.
People thought in Laverne thought that I was involved in the creation of this book, and I'm flattered, but I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Because I was literally getting a few friends going, "I didn't know you wrote a book."
Right.
I'm like, no.
No. But I am part of a podcast that is boosting it big time.
Yep.
But yeah, yeah, Trevor Project again. This is the line at their website that I was looking for. The Trevor Project is the leading suicide prevention and crisis intervention nonprofit organization for LGBTQ plus
Yeah.
young people.
It's awesome.
And they're available 24/7.
Yep. That's really good to have that available to people.
Right. So, and if you really don't want to do the book, then just donate directly to Trevor Project. I'm cool with that too, but this is a good looking book. And Cantwell's got a story, and Stephanie Williams has a story, and Heather Antos is doing interior art on a Sam Maggs story. David Boer has a story. Natasha Alderici, who did Heathen, has a story. Jadzia Axelrod, who's been doing Hawk Girl and Galaxy at DC, normally just a writer, is writing and drawing her own story. Yeah. Lots of names familiar to people in the comics community, and some not as familiar, but it all looks really good and is for a great cause.
Yeah.
And that was all just piggybacked off of our DC Pride news item, and we'll talk about them again in a few minutes.
Yeah. My second piece of news is a documentary called Surviving Comics, the documentary. Joe Nicolo speaks out about the comic book industry and his new project, Surviving Comics, the documentary. Joe Nicolo and his unique project, Surviving Comics, the documentary, explores an important question. Can the comic book industry survive another 100 years? What do you think, Tad? Do you think
I think it'll be interesting to see. I think comics are pretty resilient.
I agree.
I don't think comics are going anywhere.
No.
What it looks like always changes. Who gets paid often changes. It's one of the reasons I champion ways to get the money to the people who make the comics, rather than the people that go, "Ooh, comics, that's good IP," and I need a return on my investment, whether there's IP or not. So I'm going to publish your comics and pay myself lots of money. And you're doing the job that you love, so you can work for
free
for food money, right?
Exactly. I hope it's better than that. But
speaking of which, we won't get into it and if anybody wants to know more, Alex DeCampi had a great thread at Blue Sky because, of course, Alex DeCampi did the homework because she's awesome that way.
Uh-huh.
Our previous comments, and also hat tip to correspondent Phil, who tossed it my direction after listening to the last week's episode. Um, you know how we were hopeful that the Scout merger with whatever that multinational whatever is. Yeah, it turns out that multinational is like one person and like hasn't really done anything. It's probably a sham publicity type thing because they were getting bad PR. And it took Alex, of course, because Alex is the queen of resourcing or researching
Yep.
all of like 35 seconds to figure all of this out.
Oh,
So they didn't even like cover tracks very well.
that sucks.
Again, I don't even want to think about it. And I still remain mildly hopeful because they were starting to do cool things. Um,
Yeah.
there is something to be said for the publisher where you don't necessarily make a lot of money as long as you're not being exploited for no money and you don't lose your IP. That's willing to print much less known people. But yeah, no, it's everything I've heard since last week indicates Scout was a dumpster fire, and there's no indication that the new merger is actually gonna change that.
That's too bad.
It makes me sad.
It is.
You know that I don't like talking about bad things.
No, I don't.
I mean, like personally, I'll have discussions about how to make them better, that sort of thing. But I like to elevate the medium here. I wouldn't have brought it up at all, except that A, we're looking at surviving comics here, and B, we did talk about our hope last week, and I felt that, if any of our listeners, hi mom, hi John, actually turn to us as like the source of their
Right.
comics news, and I encourage them, if they care about comics news, go to the Beat, go to Multiversity, go to ICV2.
Yep.
That's where we get all our news.
Exactly.
Um,
Speaking of the Beat, a little bit more about Niklo, the guy who's putting
Yeah.
the documentary together. He's quoted as, "I wanted to show that the comic book shops are a vital part of not just American culture, but around the world, really. But the comic book shop is more of an American-born thing, right? I just wanted to show how important it is to our culture."
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, and see that's a whole different question from, will the comic book industry survive?
Yep.
And
this
it's
is
still
like
an important question
this is a
because
subset.
I also think that comic book shops are essential. For that matter, I mean, it's kind of like bookstores. How even though they were a national chain, and for that matter, the fact that they were a national chain was the first step towards things happening. But how much worse is our world for the fact that Borders doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to that end, that's where the comic industry is actually in a better spot. They don't have that massive chain that can just decide to pull up shop. They have a few thousand independent retailers that each one of them can pivot, turn, reimagine themselves based on what they're good at and what their specific community is. So I have high hopes for the comic book retail shop, but I do. I think whether it's comic shops or record shops or bookstores, specialty curated small businesses to promote arts are absolutely part of the fabric of society.
Yes.
Um, I mean, what's your favorite place to go?
Rainbow,
Like,
for
yeah,
sure.
like,
My
but
local
but but
comic
like
shop.
when I'm on the road, if I'm in a new city, I look for two things or
Record
three
stores.
things.
I look for two things.
I look for three things.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, maybe even four things. I look for a comic shop, a record store, an independent bookstore, and a taco place.
Okay. I look for two. I always look for a record store and a comic store.
Right.
Other than that, like, I don't really care what we do. If I go to, like, I'm coming to Chicago for my son's graduation, bringing my whole family out,
Right.
and I'm just like, hey, as long as I can check out a comic shop downtown, we can do whatever you
Right.
guys want. I'm
Right.
happy.
And I'm not actually saying that people shouldn't go places for the big tourist attractions or whatnot, but I think large numbers of people, whether it's a comic store or a music store or a good coffee shop or a new Italian restaurant or have that one thing or four things or whatever
Uh huh.
that they like enough that they like to see like regional versions of it.
Right.
They're always looking that they don't have this is the best and I will never try anything else because nobody could be better. It's more comic shops are the best. So I want to see how as many different people do comic shops as possible. Pizza is the best. So I want to try as many different pizzas as possible. Right?
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Um, so I love that somebody's digging into this. There was a great book. It's actually how I discovered a number of comic shops. That I'm drawing a blank on. I might remember the name of it later.
Okay.
That followed the business and history of it might actually just be comic book shop.
It'd be kind of ironic if it was.
Uh, Comic shop, the retail mavericks who gave us a new geek culture by Dan Garino, who's actually a business reporter for I think the Columbus newspaper.
Okay.
Like traveled the country, going to different comic shops and looking at their different ideas and what made them interesting, what made them different. It's got a great appendix where he like splits up the like different type, best superhero stores, best they've got everything mega stores, best indie comic stores, with little specific write-ups on each one of them.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it was part of my map for my road trip
Okay.
2 spring breaks ago. So it's cool that something similar, it looks like, is being brought to another medium, because cross medium stuff is also the way to elevate the medium of comics.
For sure.
And can you tell I'm tired? I'm babbling too much. So
Are you?
make me move on.
All right, moving on. So
I mean, we're 20 minutes in and we've only hit 2 news items.
okay. Go ahead with your third news item. I've kind of taken over the news a little bit today, but you had a third one.
Dav Pilkey
Yep.
is donating. It's not clear on the number of little free libraries, except that they're going to all 50 states. I kind of hope that it's not just one per state. I hope that there's more than just 50 free libraries. But the other big deal is 50,000 books that will be stocking them, etc. So he's and part of it is like promotion for the new Dogman book coming up.
Yep.
But still, little free libraries are a cool thing. They're a way to have kind of the community powered, you know,
My boss at
like if you love this book, you get to keep it,
yeah. At the library that I
you
work
know.
part time at, my boss, in front of her house, she's got her own little mini library
Yeah.
in a mailbox type thing. So
Hmm.
you walk past her house, and then at the end of her sidewalk is a large mailbox looking thing with the glass door that you open up, and it's full of books
Uh-huh.
that are free
Uh-huh.
for people
Well,
to.
and I mean, part of the thing is like, I mean, you know how much space I have.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should cull some of my books, but like the idea of selling them is like abhorrent to me. They're little pieces of myself.
I'm going to be speaking
Right?
of. I'm going to be donating a lot of comic books myself pretty soon because I need to clear some space.
Right.
Do you want first pick at them? I'm
I
donating them,
mean,
so I'll mail them to you.
yeah, well, you wouldn't have to mail them. We cross. Yeah, talk to me about what you're looking at.
Yeah,
Probably not, just because
you've got
I
your
have
own.
that same issue.
Yep.
But if it happens that on your list is one of those rare gems that I like, oh, particularly because my rare gems don't tend to be valuable books,
Right.
which is one of the things that sucks about like when you want the single issues. It's actually easy to find the valuable book. It's not always cheap to find the valuable book, but it's easy to like find it.
Correct.
If you want it, you can put a price tag on it.
Yep.
But that $2 book that you want,
Hunting it
sure,
down.
it's only going to cost $2, but it might take you 5 years to find it.
Exactly. There was a reason it's only $2 because no one's selling one.
Right.
Well, let's get into our new to order for this month.
Yep.
Keeping it moving right along.
I totally forgot to mention, um, before we started airing that I added one for you to talk about on new to order,
Okay.
because it's directly tied to one of the collections that you
Okay.
picked out.
Okay.
So in terms of what I have lined up, I have your new to order item and then the collection right there, so you can talk about them together. You'll
Okay.
see it. It's the last one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anyway,
All right. So the
first one's yours.
first new to order, guys, that I wanted to highlight is
Oh, this looks so good.
Ain't No Grave by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. It's out from Image. Eisner Award-winning writer Scotty Young and Eisner Award-nominated artist Jorge Corona, the team behind the hit series Middle West and The Me You Love in the Dark, are back
They're
together.
both just ridiculously amazing books.
Yes, they are. Are back together with an all-new miniseries, Ain't No Grave. The Unforgiven style journey is an original macabre Western fantasy tale for the mature readers, told through a Guillermo del Toro-esque lens. Sorry, I can't read. It's so tiny.
Guillermo del Toro S.
Guillermo del Toro. Ryder put her violent past behind her when she fell in love and became a mother. But that was before she learned it was all going to be taken away. Now she'll have to pick up her guns once again and ride to kill the one who's behind the threat, which just happens to be death. The genre-bending adventure begins in this double-sized first issue with 40 pages of story and no ads. It looks awesome.
That's in stores May 8th.
I love a good Western story, so I'm very excited.
I love a good Western. I love Scotty Young, but I also think that Scotty Young and Jorge Corona have been a killer team.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that they continue to, okay, we finished this book. What are we doing together next?
Exactly. I like it when guys do that. Shouldn't say guys, but creator teams stick together from book to book. I like that.
I do too. I mean, I there's something to be said for doing a model where it's more like you do one book and then go do a book with somebody else and then come back.
Yeah.
Just because, there are a lot of people that I'd love to see get to write for Sean Phillips that aren't Ed Brubaker.
Right. I agree.
But I also love it when it just becomes Brubaker Phillips and like it's. I guess to me, it's also it's kind of on the artist because and I just always hope that it's their preference.
Right.
Um, because the writer is never really bound. The writer can do more books.
Yeah.
This isn't Scotty Young's only book that he's writing.
Right.
Brubaker writes other books.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but on the flip side, it's kind of like having that long iconic run as an artist on a series,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, I do. I just again, I'm doing lots of like free association right now. That's where my brain is.
That's all right.
So
That's
like,
all right.
shut me down if you need to.
All right. Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, this
This,
was mine,
yeah.
and I love the title. I love this cover. Bear Pirate Viking Queen from Sean Lewis, Jonathan Marks Baravecchia comes a blood splattering story of conquest. Bears, pirates, Vikings, and queens all battling for their claim to determine what the world will become. Rendered in stunning watercolor, it's a gorgeous story of the blood spilled to make countries. And what's cooler than bears, pirates, Vikings, and queens? With 72 stunning pages, it's sure to be one of the most beautiful and thought-provoking books of the year.
I really like the cover. It's like an art piece in itself.
Yeah,
I could see this hanging in a gallery. I just love the bear. I love
yeah,
the words along the left hand side make
yeah,
it just look
yeah,
punk
yeah,
rock a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
Love it.
yeah. I'm looking forward to this. And this is really annoying and meta. Lunar Distribution right now, for whatever reason, about half of their pictures aren't loading, including like all of the covers for Lunar books that we wanted to talk about this week.
Oh no.
Junie Ba is doing a 5-issue The Boy Wonder series. The young prince Damian Wayne was raised to be heir to the fearsome League of Assassins to follow in the footsteps of his deadly mother Talia and the demon's head himself, the grandfather, Ra's al Ghul, which I know other people pronounce it differently, but that's the way I like it.
That's how I pronounce it. Ra's al Ghul.
Right. I've heard it Raish. I've heard, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but everything changed when his father, the Batman, reclaimed him and brought him back to Gotham City. As Robin, young Damian suddenly discovered he was merely one of a number of princes, preceded in the role by his brothers Nightwing, Red Hood, and Red Robin, and Damian doesn't care to be merely anything. But when his father is forced to leave the city on urgent business and a rash of abductions is accompanied by whispers of a demon stalking Gotham's dark alleys, Damian will find himself battling alongside his adoptive brothers and in the process learning what the mantle of Robin really means. Junie Ba makes his mark on the timeless story of Batman and Robin, synthesizing the character's complex history into an accessible and heart-rending fairy tale. And that's a Black Label book, so it won't be completely tied to continuity.
I do like the idea of doing a.
Ba is just awesome.
Yeah, I do like this idea. I like Damien. I know a lot of people,
Oh, I love Damien.
are cold.
I love
on him,
Damien.
I do too.
I think.
But in my opinion, he's been a character for like
is
25 years.
This is going to sound almost blasphemous.
Okay.
Because wasn't Damien created by Grant Morrison?
Yeah.
And I think Grant had a fantastic like origin story for him. But other than the origin, and I haven't read Grant's run in a while, so like I love their work. So like don't read too much into what I'm saying here. Other than the origin, it felt like he never quite got the feel for the character.
True.
So people who haven't read Tomasi's run,
I love
particularly
Tomasi's run.
people who haven't read Tomasi's Super Sons, the more Damian is allowed to act his age, the better he becomes.
I agree. That I don't remember if it was Pete Tomasi that wrote the Batman and Robin series where Dick Grayson was Batman and Robin was
I think that might have still been. I think
it's over on my bookshelf right now. I'm trying to look at it.
I think that started with Grant, but may have been continued by Tomasi.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that was a great series.
Tomasi did a follow-up where it was Batman and Robin right after Bruce came back.
Okay. Because what I'm referring to is when Bruce was gone.
Right. Well, and that to me was the best of Grant Morrison's Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
But I think some people had already soured so much. They just didn't like the son of the Bat. They didn't like this kid that wasn't acting like. I mean, and I think that if you actually read it all, there's good character progression.
Oh, 100%.
But how many comic readers aren't into waiting for good character progression? How many comic readers wanna make their entire opinion on the character based on the first couple of issues and compare it to everybody that they think it's replacing, even though those people aren't gone?
Right.
You know, how many people wrote off Riri Williams before they even opened the book?
I agree. I agree.
I think that's a lot of what's happened to Damian Wayne. I think a lot of people, I mean, because if you think back, there was so much resistance to Tim.
I don't remember when Tim Drake came on because I was young.
Yeah, there was resistance to Tim. There was so much resistance to Jason Todd that they killed him.
Yep.
They killed him on demand.
Yeah. Couldn't stay dead, though. He had to come back.
Well, because as it turned out, over time, people read it and went, oh, maybe we shouldn't have killed him.
He was actually kind of cool.
There was something there.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we'd seen people work with that. And some of those people became comic writers.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean that's one of the reasons I tried to overall not have my finger on the pulse of what fanboys like at all.
Right.
Because fanboys are just so fucking inconsistent. And there's a huge portion of them that tend to be racist or misogynist, or if they're not outright racist or misogynist, are just enough racist or misogynist that they don't realize that what they're saying is racist or misogynist.
Right.
You know, it's not that he's black, it's that he's not.
What do you got next?
Death Ratioed. One shot from Mark Russell and Lacey at AWA, this futuristic dark comedy where life and death are ruled by social media. One too many dislikes and you're dead. When Arnold awakes from a coma 20 years into the future, he discovers the society is now ruled by social media. Enough likes and upvotes can unlock fame and fortune, but watch your step. Enough thumbs down clicks and the collar around your neck explodes and you're done. Now, confused and running on his last like, Arnold must navigate a world in which the slightest online misstep can have fatal consequences. One shot coming from AWA on May 29th. I love Mark Russell.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. I'm definitely going to read that.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, and I can't think of the title of it right now, but that comic book where they put it, there was like a hit site that you could sign up for.
The Chris Sabella and Ted and Rowe.
Yeah. Crowded. Yep. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Yeah. Crowdfund your hit.
Yeah. All right. I gotta enlarge my screen here again. Ratio. So our next one. I'm sorry, I'm having screen problems here.
No, it's okay.
Trying to get it where I
Zoom
can.
on my side, see if that helps.
I'm trying. All right, here we go. Okay. Duh, right. Get Fury #1 from Garth Ennis and Goran Parlov and Jason Burrows from Marvel. This book looks awesome. I picked this one because I love Garth Ennis.
Oh, and like the only time I care about Punisher, not quite, because Becky Cloonan had a good run, Matt Rosenberg had a good run, Jason Aaron had a good run, but all of those were completely defined by Garth Ennis's run.
Yeah.
Garth Ennis made the Punisher not quite an anti-hero anymore, much more of uh, uh, a villain that certain people like to root for, but not even necessarily Frank.
Right. Exactly.
And hilarious.
I agree. It's
And
very
that's
funny.
the important part. It became funny violence rather than just let's kill the jaywalkers,
Exactly.
which I don't think he ever actually did, but I mean it got to the point where
Got
it's like
it's
who aren't you going to shoot?
exactly. All right. Garth Ennis returns to Marvel with Nick Fury and Frank Castle as you've never seen. It's 1971. There is a war raging in Vietnam, and Nick Fury has been captured by the Viet Cong. At this moment, they don't quite understand that they have in their possession a man who knows enough secrets to damage the United States beyond comprehension. The CIA, however, does realize this, and they can't risk their enemy getting those secrets, so they dispatch the most deadly man in the U.S. Army, Lieutenant Frank Castle. Yeah, this looks really good. I love Garth Ennis writing Punisher, so I'm on board.
Well, and I love this cover here. We got Fury in the crosshairs and Castle with the rifle. So here's the question: is he getting Fury back, or do they care if I have a feeling it's one of those like he knows stuff that's useful, so if you can bring him back alive, great. But he also knows stuff that we'd just be happy to have go away. So, if bringing him back alive's too hard, shoot him.
Just shoot him.
I mean, relatively obviously he doesn't die. I mean, I guess it's not labeled explicitly as in universe, but it probably is. Um, yeah, it does look fun.
I love it.
Garth on Punisher is like I understand people who have disavowed Punisher. I am very nearly one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Garth on Punisher.
You can't go wrong.
Garth on Frank Castle, really. Yeah.
Garth on
Yeah.
anything. I love Garth Ennis.
That's true. That's also true.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Space Ghost by David Pepos and Jonathan Lau. Let's see here. You're gotta move this. And Francesco Mattina. Greed and corruption.
Cover art.
Yeah, cover art. Sorry. Greed and corruption flourish in the darkness between stars. With the territories of the Galactic Federation spread far and wide across the vastness of space, pirates and hijackers ransack the distant colonies with cruel disregard for the innocent scientists living within them. Yet there is a cosmic vigilante who metes out justice through the galaxy, bringing vengeance to those prey upon the defenseless. Some say he is a policeman who has abandoned the strictures of law. Others say he is a phantom, the sole survivor of a war-torn planet. And those who have survived his wrath claim he is more of a force of nature, able to bend the very elements of creation to decimate his enemies. Disseminate. They call him the Space Ghost, and his adventures begin here. Yeah, that looks really interesting. I love Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. I don't know if you do you watch that, or did you when you were younger?
Some, but I think this is more the original Space Ghost
Exactly.
rather than the
The talk show host, yeah.
the talk show host.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I watched enough of it that is part of the reason that it hit my radar.
Yeah, I'm excited for it
David Pete Post is the other part of the reason. Um, Somebody we should reach out to at some point.
for sure.
We
I
get-
love the cover.
Yeah,
It's got a painterly
it's a cool
style
looking cover.
cover of Space Ghost.
Francesco Mattina does good work.
Yeah.
Good work. All right. The one that I added to your list.
Oh, sure. Whisper Queen. I did
Yeah.
consider this one. It's Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka. Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka, the all-star team behind The White Trees, return to the fantastical land of Black Sand. The Royal Guard has sent their most capable bounty hunters after the accomplices in the king's murder. Javro, once the king's most skilled assassin, must find the killers before they and the bounty hunters, including her son, are wiped out by the kingdom's most feared specter, the Dark Whisperer. I think the art looks really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Chris Anka, but
Well, I don't know him a ton except from this, which will be re-released on the same day. It was originally a 2-issue series that wasn't intended to be collected, but they decided to collect it pretty much in a one-shot comic more than a collection, so that people who missed it, when they want to come read the new book, can get caught up. So here you go. This is the collection that you did put on your list.
that's awesome. Should I
Chip
just
Zdarsky and
should I go
Chris
into it right
Anka
now?
collected together for the first time. Yeah.
All right, both issues of the acclaimed fantasy miniseries by Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka are collected together for the first time. In the fantastical world of Black Sand, peace was hard won, and 3 unbending warriors carry the scars to prove it. Now, almost 20 years later, their children are missing and war is on the horizon. Can they put aside their memories of the war and each other for one last adventure?
Yeah.
I think it's
So
cool.
and
Just
there
2
you go.
issues
If you're
long.
ordering, if you're ordering and you miss the White Trees and you're interested in the Whisper Queen, order them both.
Yeah.
If you're waiting to go to the comic shop and Whisper Queen looks good to you, you want more in the universe, they should have those first 2 issues together, and a nice $6. I think it's going to be like a triple size or quadruple size issue, because I don't think either of them were particularly short. It's 2 issues, but I think one of them was like 40 some odd pages and one of them was at least 30 some odd.
Sure.
So yeah,
That
and it
makes-
was a cool story.
Yeah.
I liked it. So
What-
shall we look at some graphic novels?
Yeah, what's out?
Well, the first one
Is mine.
was one of yours, one that you picked out, though it looks really good.
I think so. Let me see here. Let me get my screen back. All right, this is Devour by Jasmine Joyner and Anthony Pugh. Devour tells the story of the Turner family who moved to Alabama to care for their ailing matriarch, Vassie, when she begins suffering from dementia. But Vassie isn't just any old lady. She's the last of a line of powerful root women who have been caring for the community since her ancestors were first captured and enslaved by white plantation owners. Patsy, the eldest daughter in the family, is immediately suspicious. The locals' fear and superstition of her grandmother leads Patsy to take a closer look at the Turner family home, and what she finds is beyond her wildest nightmares. In a magical room beneath the house, Patsy discovers the source of her family's legendary skills, the Ghanaian spider, god Anansi. As Patsy learns about her family's culture and dark past, she also realizes what's really happening to Vassie. Anansi is eating Vassie's memories. With their legacy and the god's imprisonment in the balance, Patsy and her brother Demetrius will have to take up their grandmother's mantle while she still can remember who they are.
Love me an Anansi story.
Yeah, this is really coming right on the heels of our announcement of Anansi Boys last week.
Yeah, I love me an Anansi story.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, my knowledge of Anansi doesn't go anywhere beyond Neil Gaiman's novel, but I still, I would like to read this a lot.
I love that we're having more global folklore
Yeah,
make it into the comics world.
I agree.
Um, yeah,
I agree.
this was yours too.
Indigenerds. I love the title of this. This is where I went with
Yeah, I do
this.
too.
So this is by various writers and various artists. First Nations culture is living, vibrant, and evolving, and generations of Indigenous kids have grown up with pop culture creeping exorbitantly into their lives. From gaming to social media, pirate radio to garage bands, Star Trek to D&D, and misconnections to the powwow, Indigenous culture is so much more than how it's usually portrayed. Indigenerds is here to celebrate those stories. Featuring an all-Indigenous creative team, Indigenerds is an exhilarating anthology collecting 11 stories about the Indigenous people balancing its traditional ways of knowing with modern pop culture. Includes works by Elena Pete, PJ Underwood, Cameron White, Rael McGregor, and many more.
This one falls into what I was saying as well. I love seeing perspectives that aren't my own.
Exactly.
Particularly, when they're, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this to say I don't also love perspectives that aren't my own when they're examining my privilege or their lack of whatnot. But I particularly love when it's just a culture that's not my own and an angle on something that we both love.
Exactly. Yep.
This is an examination of nerd culture just from people who don't look like me. Um,
Yeah.
and I love that. I love that.
I do too. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Um,
And see, Lunar being so kind to us.
No photo.
Also didn't give us the picture of the jellyfish.
Is
Which is yours too.
I had 3 in a row.
Yep.
All right. This is Jellyfish, by Baum. How would you say that?
Baum.
Odette is a hip, young 20-something with her own place, a steady job at a local bookstore, an adorable pet rabbit, and a burgeoning crush on a cute girl in the neighborhood. But Odette is haunted by something only she can see, a jellyfish. A jellyfish that floats in her eye, blocking her vision. It's a seemingly minor annoyance until one day there are 2 jellyfish. Showcasing stunning and inventive artwork by Baum, The Jellyfish is a tour de force of graphic storytelling, a powerful, occasionally terrifying story of facing the thing that we fear the most, and finding a light to guide us through the darkness. Not only is The Jellyfish one of the most beautiful graphic novels I've ever read, it goes straight for the heart and doesn't let up. Baum is a master of her craft. Napoleon the Bunny for president. Kate Leth from Malgoth, Patsy Walker, a.k.a. Hellcat.
Yeah, Kate Leth's a fantastic artist in their own right. So, that's high praise.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. And I just like the idea of like these like floating orbs that we see in our eyes. Like what if that's really something there? And she really has a jellyfish in her sight.
Right.
That's very
All
interesting.
right.
Back to you.
Marshall Bass coming out from Ablaze. From the creative team behind Cable, The End of and Soldier X comes a tale extrapolated from the life of first Black deputy U.S. Marshal. Set in the tumultuous aftermath of the American Civil War, River Bass is drawn into a career path he'd never expected, law enforcement. While he accepts the badge with an eye towards equality and justice, will the cruelty of the world allow him these ideals? Volume 1 contains 3 stories. First, when a black gang earns the attention of the U.S. Marshal Service, River Bass is recruited by Colonel Helena to infiltrate their ranks. While trying to keep his cover and accomplish his missions, he's confronted by the reality of the gang members' individual circumstances, goals, and outcomes, all weighed against his future as a U.S. Marshal. Next, when an investigation of a serial murderer goes awry, when Marshal Bass confronts more killers than he bargained for, a whole family of killers, in fact. Further, while trying to escape desperate circumstances, he finds himself drawn to the daughter of the murderous clan. And then finally, when one of their daughters runs off with a young man, Bass is pressed by his wife to find her and bring her home, but the job becomes more complicated when the man in question becomes a murderer. Further, the man without a name may have greater ties to Bass than initially assumed. This is from Darko McCann and Igor Korgi at Ablaze Comics. great Western based on an actual historical figure. Um, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Already talked about our love for Westerns.
Mm-hmm.
Traces of Madness from Graphic Mundi, the Penn State University Press, from Fernando Barrias and illustrated by Mario Pellier. Fernando Barrias was a perfectly ordinary, if misunderstood, young adult until he started hearing voices. In Traces of Madness, Fernando describes what it feels like, both mentally and physically, to lose your grip on reality. His life spins out of control when the voices he hears inside his head depict in the narrative as a monster working to destroy his self-esteem, and worse, urge him to hurt himself. Various psychiatric diagnoses and prescribed medications do more harm than good, prompting Fernando to question whether stifling his voices is truly the right path for him. Throughout his experiences, he finds that his connections with others lead him to the strength to survive. So yeah, no, I love mental health stories.
I do too.
Particularly, lived ones or lived fiction. Our brains are such weird places. The Worst Ronin.
I like that title.
From Harper Alley. Nimona meets Attack on Titan in this edgy, unexpectedly hilarious, genre-defying young adult graphic novel. Being a samurai isn't easy.
Being the worst one is even worse.
Chihiro Ito knows that more than anyone. Her father is a renowned among the samurai. The only thing Chihiro is known for is spending way too much time on her phone obsessing over Tatsuo Nakano, Chihiro's idol, and the first woman to be accepted into the Keisei Academy, a prestigious samurai school. So when Chihiro's father is conscripted for service and the opportunity arises to work with Tatsuo in his stead, Chihiro jumps at the chance to prove that she's worthy of a spot at the Keisei Academy and the samurai title. Their mission? Kill the Yanaba demon terrorizing a village. With a legendary samurai like Tatsuo by her side, Chihiro is convinced victory is inevitable, but Tatsuo isn't at all like the hero Chihiro imagined. Forced to work together, the two are thrust on a treacherous journey filled with epic battles and twisted conspiracies as they must put aside their differences to save the village and face the demons of the past. Written by Maggie Takuda Hall, author of The Squad, and Faith Schaefer. Yeah. I dug The Squad, and this looks fun.
This looks really fun. I just think it sounds funny, right?
It does.
Being Ronin is not easy, and then to be the worst one.
Right. Exactly. I just realized I forgot to pull up something.
Okay.
There we go.
All
now
right.
I have. So, in terms of collections, we've talked about it a few times, and we talked to Ryan, and it's awesome. So keep on your radar if you're not reading it issue to issue. Dear Editor, a John Doe slaying lures a journalist into a world of political intrigue, a Wi-Fi enabled grotto, and a station locker full of secrets. For Bucky, an editor of the crime beat at The Truth, it's all in a day's work. But he also happens to be a deer. Will he chase down his last story in this Antler Noir series? Dear Editor is perfect for fans of Black Sad and Chinatown in shops March 8th. And I want to emphasize that unlike, say, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, where the protagonist is a bear and other protagonists are rabbits and whatnot, Bucky is a deer and everybody else is just human.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they don't act like it's weird that he's a deer.
It's like when I tried to read Resident Alien, I didn't know if other people knew he was an alien or not.
Well, and for most part, they don't.
Okay.
And that's what's great. I think it's only the little girl that knows until he starts to tell a handful of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to that. Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder. I'm not going to read the whole thing for this. I'm just going to say that, Chip Zdarsky, Leah Williams, Zoe Thorogood, Kelly Thompson, Gail Simone, Teenie Howard, Annie Wu, Junie Ba, Ped Brandt and Rose Stein, Bilquis Evely, Bruno Redondo. No, we did mention Kelly. Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips, Kyle Starks and Chris Schweizer. God, they pulled out all the stops, bringing so many of our favorite creative teams to this book.
For sure.
And they all fucking knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I don't care if you like Harley Quinn or not. Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder is even better than Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red, which was the first Harley Quinn thing that I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And now I'm hoping that the two of them get put together in a hardcover.
That would be cool.
Like the 12-issue hardcover, I would so buy that. All right, last collection, the one that you just jumped on board with.
Yeah, let me.
So good.
It is really good.
I've been telling you that for almost 2 years now.
I know, and I just got caught up. Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips on Newburn. This is volume 2. Don't miss the thrilling conclusion of the series from Eisner winner Chip Zdarsky and rising star Jacob Phillips. Past mistakes are catching up with Newburn. As his allies turn on him one by one, Newburn must take increasingly desperate measures to protect himself. With their enemies closing in on all sides, how much longer can his partner Emily remain by his side? Yeah, I love the cover. I love the logo. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's Zdarsky and Phillips.
Yep.
I mean, that's like, I don't know. I mean, Zdarsky gets to work with his pick of artists, and I don't know if I can think of a pairing where I like the artist more than Jacob Phillips.
Uh-huh.
And Jacob somehow has the time to do this and all the cover work he does, and not like leave us without a Condon and Phillips book for more than a month or two at a time. So yeah. Yeah. It's a great mystery. I'm rereading 100 Bullets right now, and it doesn't have like the broad conspiratorial aspect of 100 Bullets, but one of the things in 100 Bullets is that they had like a group of people that kept the peace between the families by like being judge, jury, executioner, and that's kind of what Newburn is. But when you're talking about big crime families, it's
right.
So yeah, I like this book. So
cool.
Final order cutoff this week.
Mm-hmm.
Deathstalkers #1 from Slash, Tim Seeley, Steve Kostansky, and Jim Terry at Vault. Dick Tracy #1 from Alex Segura, Michael Marisi, Chantel, Amy Osman, and Geraldo Borges at Mad Cave. The Nasty, the trade paperback from John Lees and Adam Cahoon at Vault. And A Witch's Guide to Burning from a Mindred Alley drawn and quarterly. Kickstarters worth mentioning: Mutiny, Black Girl Magic #1, Crystal Adams, Isaiah Fulmore, Amanda Adams, and Fabrice Sapolsky at Fair Square through March 26th. The Beat had a nice interview with some of the creators, talked about how it went from being a rejected Free Comic Book Day idea to a very successful Kickstarter. Black and White, the hardcover collection of the Black Mask superhero series from Kwanzaa Asayefo, Tim Smith III, and Jamal Eagle. The Really Complete Paradise 2 from Terry Moore. Both of those are through March 29th. We talked extensively already about When I Was Young, an LGBTQIA charity comics anthology edited by Michelle Abinader. Go back and listen to my interview with her. She's really cool.
It was really good.
Proceeds from this will go to the Trevor Project, as mentioned earlier. That was out, or that's through March 31st. And then Cult of the Lamb, the first verse, which is apparently based on some video game that I have no idea what it is, but it's Alex Packnadel writing, so I was totally on top of it. Troy Little on the art. Apparently, it's a very, very uh, uh, popular video game because it funded in like 6 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. And it wasn't like a low funding goal either. So, yeah.
I
Anyway, so Tyler, what'd you love this week?
um Fish Flies, number 5. Jeff Lemire has been burning the
I
candle at.
haven't actually gotten to this is where I'm going to say this is like the opposite of our normal week.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you've only read those three, but I I've probably read 5 or 6 comics. I've read more than just my three,
Yeah.
but there are a bunch of comics that normally I absolutely would have gotten to that I haven't because of life and then the show dropping.
Yeah.
MLB the show dropping kind of took up my last couple of days, at least
Yep.
while I was home. So yeah.
I'm it's a 7-part series, and so we're on part 5 right now. I've really loved the story so far. If you're
And I
unfamiliar,
love when Jeff does his own art too.
yes, his own art really lends itself to getting in that world of his. You know, I know it's not
Right.
one all encompassing world of Jeff Lemire stuff,
Right.
but it does feel very familiar to all of his other works where he's created both the art and the prose to it. Fables 162, Bill Willingham and Mark Buckingham from DC Black Label.
So
Uh,
this is the last Fables book.
yep, yep. I hope so. This
Well, I
was,
mean, it is.
yeah. I hope they.
I mean, at least it's the last Willingham Fables book.
And that's what I meant by I hope so. I hope it's not
Right.
carried on by other people. I
At
like,
least not at DC. I mean, Willingham has said he's more than happy to let other people away from DC cover it on, but that's a whole can of worms.
exactly. I like the idea of this wrapping up and this being the one completed work. There's a whole bunch of argument for it should have ended way back when with the rise of Geppetto.
Yeah, I think I would have ended it at like 75.
Yeah, yep. I think I would have too. But anyway, so
When they win back the homelands and Boy Blue.
he was like, if I remember right, he had that.
Dies a martyr.
Yeah, he had that cloak, right? That made him invisible,
Right, right.
or
That
teleported him, or something.
I think that would have been where I ended it.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like the well, and I think that was the original planned ending, and it was just too popular.
yeah.
And I don't think he ever found his groove with the re-rise of Geppetto
And the
and
Mr.
that sort of
Darkness,
thing.
and
Right.
yeah, I agree.
So I haven't actually read any of these last 12. I had always planned to just wait. Um, what was your feel on the return to Fables? Was a worthwhile one last round?
As far as new comic books coming out, I liked them. As far as Fables as a whole, I felt like it was lackluster. I mean, when you compare
Okay.
it to early Fables and how like fresh
So
and
so it's kind of like Godfather Part 3. If you've never watched a Godfather movie, it's a great mob movie.
yeah,
And if you've watched Godfather movies, it's like maybe you should have stopped it too.
yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about this. It's a great comic
Okay.
book. It's a great comic book, and if you're just getting into Fables, yeah, it's a worthwhile arc. But if you
Well,
go ahead,
like hold that thought because that's going to play very well into our great responsibility.
okay.
Let's talk about the one hand number 2 because it made both of our lists.
Yeah, this is great. I love where the story is going so far. This is Ram V. Lawrence Campbell from Image.
So fucking
It is good. I love the idea that they're doing this with a companion book written
good.
written by somebody else. I think that's so great.
Did you see the you know it's going to wind up being important
In the
the
Six
the
Fingers, yeah.
well the his android prostitute is gone.
Oh yeah,
You know, he went to see her and was told that she's not there anymore. She
yeah.
might be on the dot. You know, she'd expired or whatever.
However,
They
yeah.
have these new models to offer him. Um, yeah, no, one hand was gonna have a chance.
Yep.
Um, but uh, the my top book this week was decided a long time ago. Helena Windhorn #1. It's just so uh
I have this. I have not read it. It's in my pile.
uh you have this and you've had a digital copy for like 2.5 months.
I know. I know.
I mean, Tom's fantastic. Bilquis is fantastic.
Uh-huh.
They work so well together. Um, and this story of loss and memory and story and yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Go back and listen to our last talk with Tom King, or just go buy the fucking book.
Yeah, just go buy it. I'm
It's that good.
I'm hoping it's that good because, like I said, I haven't read it yet, but
It is. It totally is. Definitely, if you like the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, you're gonna like this. Um, yeah. One hand. It was actually really close for my fourth book, and I think Dark Ride #11 narrowly edges out Black Widow and Hawkeye #1.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dark Ride's coming towards its conclusion and just fantastic. And the only reason I bring it up as narrowly edges out is I think I actually put it in the third spot before I read Black Widow and Hawkeye #1. So I'm literally thinking out loud, do I still think it should be in the third spot? And I think it still does, but I'm going to say that Stephanie Phillips' Black Widow and Hawkeye #1 is also, particularly if you're a superhero fan at all, one that you should go out and read. So yeah.
Awesome.
Speaking of superheroes, and this is why I told you to hold your thought on the Fables.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk some Black Hammer Justice League.
Yeah.
And there are two ways to look at this book. The one, and the way that's kind of hard for us not to, because we've been reading through all of Black Hammer, is as that addition to the Black Hammer universe.
Yes.
But another way to look at it is as an introduction for fans of Justice League or fans of Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman to the Black Hammer universe.
Yeah. So, on that note,
yeah. So, how do you feel?
I feel that it is a great introduction into the world, especially if you know the Justice League characters and you're like, oh, cool. Superman's in this book. I'll read about Abraham Slam. I mean, that's really cool.
Right.
But as the Black Hammer as a whole, I felt it was disappointing.
Yeah, I it's one of those where it's like the worst Beatles album is still better than 99.95% of all of the music ever made.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like being the worst in the Black Hammer universe, and I'm not quite certain that it's even quite the worst in the Black Hammer universe. Right?
Right.
But being in the lower tier of the Black Hammer universe still makes it an amazing comic. You know, if you'd read it first, you'd probably even continue to love it. I mean, I almost wonder if sometimes, like my Woody Allen theory when it comes to movies, is for the most part, if you're gonna like Woody Allen at all, the first 3 Woody Allen movies you see will always be your favorites.
It's a good theory.
Because it's not that his later movies were worse than his early movies. It's that they weren't enough different. So if you already loved those 3 movies and now you see this fourth, it's like, yeah, it's Woody Allen again.
Exactly. I agree.
It's not actually that the quality is lower, it's that it's not necessarily higher and it's not necessarily any different.
Yeah.
You know, Ants is just an animated Woody Allen movie.
True.
You know. So if
That's
Ants is your introduction to Woody Allen, it's going to be one of your
favorite movies.
favorite Woody Allen movies. Um, Whereas if you have already seen Annie Hall and Broadway Danny Rose and I can't even remember my Woody Allen movies because they blur together. If you've already seen Woody Allen movies and you've already reached that point where the new Woody Allen movie doesn't excite you, but you wind up seeing Ants because your kids want to see Ants, you appreciate it for its Woody Allenness. And he didn't write or direct it, but he did play the character, and he played a very Woody Allen character. And you appreciate it for that, but like you don't like it as much as your kids do because they haven't experienced the other Woody Allen.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this fits into the if it had come out earlier, if it had come out like right after the first 12,
Uh-huh.
I think we'd like it a lot
Yeah, probably.
more. But there just aren't from just a Black Hammer universe side.
Uh-huh.
There aren't enough new twists. There aren't enough new elements or new twists on elements or really any character development, that goes on in this book. But again, if it's your introduction to Black Hammer,
It's good enough, I think.
I don't even think it's good enough. I think it's a fantastic introduction to Black Hammer.
Yeah, you're right. It
If
works.
you read this and had never read any other Black Hammer, wouldn't you want to read more Black Hammer?
Exactly. And I'd be pleasantly surprised then because it's, everything got better from that point, right?
Right. I mean, again, I don't even know if you'd think that it got better from that point because, again, I think everything that we say in a negative way about this book
Uh-huh.
is only through the lens of having read a ton of Black Hammer.
I agree with that.
So it's not even necessarily that it's worse. It's just not different. It's not better and it's not different.
Exactly.
And that makes it feel less.
Because we're still dealing with the farm. We're still dealing with
right.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I found myself enjoying the read, particularly because I tried to put myself in the mindset, and I did a decent job because I read it yesterday after, like I said, the show came out at 11 p.m. Eastern time or at 11 p.m. my time, midnight Eastern is when the show officially came out.
Uh-huh.
And as I told my wife, I was in bed by midnight, Hawaiian time.
Hawaiian time. That's funny.
And up and going to work a couple hours later. So that was the mindset that I was in while I was reading Black Hammer Justice League. So it was a little bit easier for me to treat it like I was reading it fresh. And I did appreciate it. The art was really good. You got to know the characters in important ways.
Uh-huh.
It was more of a Justice League story than a Black Hammer story. You really only got glimpses at the Black Hammer characters. But again, if you're thinking of it as an introduction to Black Hammer, you're thinking of it as reaching out to the DC Universe fans and saying, hey, come check this out. I think it works really, really well.
I agree. Yeah, it does.
I would actually be really interested to know if he saw a sales bump on back catalog, etc.
Oh, maybe.
After this. Because, I mean, if there's justice in the world, he should have. I mean, this should have been a really great on-ramp. I know I used it that way.
Yeah.
Because I was working in comic shop when this came out. So I know that it's able to be used that way. I'm curious as to how much it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
You have
just looking at
anything else you want to say about it?
no, I was just looking at the time, and I know
Yeah.
you've got another show to get to shortly
Not
here.
another show. I've got a fantasy baseball draft in 45 minutes.
Oh, baseball draft. That's what.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay.
So yeah, that
I
was Black Hammer Justice League
Yep.
crossover. Go check that out. If you haven't been listening to our previous Black Hammer episodes, please do that. And also check out our thoughts on Astro City. We're going to be
Well, and
finishing that
Astro
up
City Metro book number 5
next
comes
week, right?
out Wednesday.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to hopefully manage to put our hands on it and cram it in before Saturday.
I can do it.
Yeah, what I don't know is whether it's going to come out digitally on Wednesday. So that's going to be because it's not solicited digitally yet. But I think
Oh,
Image often doesn't put theirs up until the day of.
okay.
So that's the wild card. So if we wind up discussing something else next week, it's just because we couldn't put our hands on material.
Yep.
But Tyler works at a library. I have a good library nearby, so even if we can't put our hands on a copy to buy or digital copies, we may be able to put our hands on library copies. Hopefully, our libraries were foresightful enough to order them. Um,
Yeah, hopefully.
but if all goes well, it'll be Astro City Metro Book number 5 next week, and then wrapping up the Black Hammer universe the week after that, and then we're gonna just do some Kieran Gillen. So yeah, next
Tad,
week's got some good books coming out.
it does. What do you hope will be spectacular?
Well, I mean, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees number 4.
Yes.
I just love this series. I love Patrick. I love, yeah, it's so good.
There feels
Uh,
something special about it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I can't put
yeah,
my finger on it. It's just, it has a wholesome feel to it. The artwork just makes you feel like you're watching. Remember that old the Busy World of Richard Scarry, the
yeah,
cartoon series?
yeah.
It
I mean,
reminds.
that's what he says specifically is what he like kind of modeled it off of.
It feels like that, and then but yet it's a horror story. And now,
Right.
if I ever watched the Busy World again, I'm gonna just think of Patrick
You're going to
Horvath.
start thinking, well, Richard Scarry's name implies that there's something deeper going on here.
Exactly.
Ram V has a new book coming out at Dark Horse, Dawn Runner number 1 with Evan Cagle. Looks good.
Yeah.
Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino are wrapping up the Bone Orchard Mythos.
Yeah.
Tenement number 10. And I already know that Hornsack and Jesse Lonergan's Man's Best number 1 is spectacular.
I can't wait to read it.
But it comes out next week as well.
And then, Swan Songs has a collection coming out, huh? That's
Yep,
awesome.
yep.
That was a really good series. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. What do I find spectacular? I got to go down the list here. Oh, if you find this, I'm Already Dead, number 2 from Matt Kint and Dan
Yeah,
McDade.
I'm looking forward to this.
I really liked the first one. It was really cool, and I can't wait to see where the story goes from there. Of course, we just mentioned Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, number 4 from Patrick Horvath, out on IDW. And here's a new series that is basically reinventing the old one, Web of Spider-Man number 1. This is by Amazing Spider-Man writer Zeb Wells, and it's got writing by Alex Segura, Greg Weisman, Steve Fox, and art by Ed
Now,
McGuinness.
This is actually, I think, a one-shot that's supposed to be setting up like the next year of Spider-Man.
Yeah. I didn't know it
Across
was
the
a
different titles.
one shot, but yeah.
I believe that it is.
Okay. But
Don't
yes, it's
quote
setting
me on that.
setting up what's going to happen in Spider-Man going forward. Artists Ed McGuinness and Salvador LaRocca. I'm really looking forward to it. I know there's a ton of Spider-Man books out there, but this one, it's got cover art by the Spawn artist. Now I can't think of his name. Greg something.
Capullo?
Capullo. Thank you. Duh. Greg Capullo.
I mean, I think of him as a Batman artist, but,
That's true. He was a Batman artist too.
for Scott Snyder.
Yep. Yep. All right. So those are our comics this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. Tad's got a fantasy league to get to. I've got
Yeah, I got to draft my fantasy baseball team with 22 panels correspondent Andy.
yeah. Tell Andy
And
hi. I haven't talked to him in forever.
I will if I actually talk to him. Sometimes we talk during the draft, and sometimes we're just like in draft mode.
Okay.
Because there doesn't have to be an audio component, but sometimes Andy and I will decide to like Zoom or be on the phone while we're drafting.
While you're drafting. Okay.
So we actually have a plan for that this year.
Okay. All right.
So, but yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, to our listeners out there, we'll catch you guys after the next page. See ya. Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.